guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to have a look through all the gorgeous pages that we have made during our series doing the Mojo mix-up, where we were doing random pages for if you are missing your crafty mojo, just to kind of like spur you on, and so you're not having to commit to a massive great big project. So let's have a look through first of all and see the pages that we made, and then we'll just kind of have a bit of a chat about what you would do to try and pull them together in some form of journal, or if, you know, which is going to be the case in quite a few of these pages, I suspect, you end up with just a random page and it goes with nothing else, how you could then kind of tie it in and use it as your starting point for a journal. So let's have a look through all the lovely pages that we made. So we have got this gorgeous page here. Now, I did keep saying during the series, you know, these pages are not finished off. I would be adding things like perhaps, I don't know, bows, lace clusters, you know, wax seals, things like that. You know, when I come to actually bind them into a journal, or, you know, put them into a journal, depending on what's on the facing page or depending on how the journal's coming together, I didn't want to kind of like put, say, a lace cluster on here, only to find that the facing opposite page has a lace cluster in that corner as well, because then they're going to kind of bump into each other. So I prefer to, you know, just leave the decorating finishing touches for afterwards. But we've got this page. We have got this gorgeous brown page, which I absolutely love. We've got this wonderful green and pink page. We've got this beautiful page with the lilacs and things on there as well. Oh my goodness, got this lovely page. I mean, I've forgotten about a lot of these pages, to be honest, because obviously we've made so many now. I've, you know, can't remember all the pages that we made. This one, very, very in its, you know, what do you call it, bare like format. Literally, we just put some lace down in the pocket. So I will be adding some extra things to this, but it's just a starting point. This page, which, oh my goodness, isn't that just yummy? Absolutely love it. This one, which I also really love, we had the ribbon tied around there. We've got this one here with the Rita Donnelly flip, but just a single one. We've got this gorgeous page here with, again, the sari silk tie envelope there. We've got this one with the vellum pocket on the page there. Got this gorgeous page with a coin envelope. So you've got the coin envelope at the top and then a side pocket on the side. We've got this yummy page here with a pocket up here and then a pocket here in the side as well. Love that one. We've got this one here with, again, just a little flappy pocket there and a pocket here. We've got this gorgeous page here. I mean, a lot of them are just scrumptious, aren't they, to be honest? Struggling to choose a favourite. Let me know if you see a clear, you know, clear winner, sort of, you know, clear favourite out of all of them. We've got this one. Got this gorgeous page here. Got this one here with a flat there. We've got this one here. Again, we did, oh, a side pocket this side. Got this one, I think, with a pocket, oh, in that way. We've got this one, really pretty. Got this one here. This one here. And this one here. Now, I didn't keep a count of those, so yeah, maybe somebody out there has been kind enough to count up for me, and perhaps you could pop in the comments below how many pages we've got, or perhaps I'll just quickly count through now. It's quite nice to see how many pages we've got. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 pages. So, I mean, that's pretty incredible, isn't it, to be honest? We did, you know, a lot of pages there. So what I would then start by doing, you know, if I'm now going to try and turn these into a journal, I will maybe put them into piles of things that are similar colours. So, you know, they're kind of purples. This one obviously is pinks. This one, although is pinks, it's kind of pinks and blacks. So I'll put it in the pinks for the moment, but that might get a reshuffle in a minute. Put this one here, or maybe in the purples again. We've got this one again, pinks. This one, or probably with that one there. This one maybe a whole new colour scheme, or maybe that one with that, perhaps. I mean, you can kind of see that actually, you know, you do end up with quite a few that will tone together, even if at first glance you think, oh my goodness, they don't go with anything. Actually, you know, you will end up with some that you kind of think, well, they would work quite well together. So just put the ones with the blacks there. Maybe that one. Maybe there. Maybe that one there. This one, maybe on the purples. Maybe the pinks. Again, the blacks and the pinks. Right, okay, so we've got quite a few different sort of colour-y piles. So if we just kind of have a bit of a look through now, so we'll do them one at a time and just see. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that you would have some to form a journal, and we did talk about this the whole time through the series. You know, that wasn't really the intention of, you know, what we were doing. We were trying to get just a bunch of pages as either a starting point, as like inspiration to build a journal from, or, you know, maybe you will end up with some that, you know, hopefully will form a journal. So like this, for example, I mean, that would go all quite well in the same journal. Now I'm going to look at this one. Personally, I don't think that probably goes in that particular journal. So I'm going to put that to one side. We've got this one here. I mean, it depends. Could go, or, you know, not necessarily. So yeah, that's a kind of optional one. I'm going to put it to one side for the moment. We've got this one here. This one here, again, I wouldn't necessarily put with the green and pinks, but, you know, it's all personal choice. If you were doing a journal where maybe you had like a pink and green page, and then you might have a, you know, pink and brown page, or a pink and blue page, or, you know, even a completely different blue and yellow page, for example, then obviously it would be okay to mix them up. Personally, I probably am a bit more, you know, inclined to do like matchy, which is a little bit, you know, boring, and I wish I could shift myself from that mindset. But so from that point of view, I probably wouldn't put this like pink and brown one with the pink and green, because I would feel that that's, you know, a little bit too much of a departure. So I'll take that out. We've got this one, pinks and blues. So again, I probably wouldn't do pink and blue with pink and green. That being said, there is some green on this page and things. So, you know, it would just depend sort of how it came together, really. But I'll just put that to one side for the moment. Then we've got, again, pink and black, which, again, you know, maybe wouldn't necessarily put with this. Although, strangely, this one does seem to look okay with these, you know, which is sort of unexpected. And then we've got this one, which, again, it's okay. You know, I could always add some extra green to this or something if I wanted. But maybe I would keep that as a different, you know, for a different journal. So far in that pile, I have like 2 pages which I would consider, you know, they're really nice, very complementary to each other to, you know, potentially make a journal from. So then obviously we didn't decorate the backs. So what I could do is, now these are both decorated on, you know, punchable that side, if you see what I mean. So this one also punchable that side. So although I've put them next to each other, I wouldn't have them next to each other, because they are, you know, that one's punchable on that side, that one's punchable on that side. So they're going to obviously be that way round, if you see what I mean. But that straight away is a great starting point for a journal, because I've got 2 pages already complete. And then, you know, I can go back through my pile of ephemera, which is still laying here on my desk. Let me just see if I can grab in some pinks and things. Have I got any pinks? No. Oh my goodness. Right, well, I'm just going to grab in. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that these are, you know, ideal, but these are some just with a bit of pink and a bit of green on them. So, you know, loosely speaking, they're in the right sort of range of colours. Oops, I've got a few more here, actually. Oh, here we go. Right. Okay, so I can pull in all of these pockets and think, well, these are all going to sort of tie in quite nicely with this. So then I can play around and obviously, you know, form a matching page so that I've got a double page spread then. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that that particular one, but, you know, you get the idea. And that would then set me off into, I've got, you know, I can't decide. I mean, maybe that one. So that would set me off into, that's my 3 pages done then. And then, of course, you know, continuing on like that. So, you know, maybe I would put this here, and then I would just marry up some more base pages in similar colours, so pinks and greens, and carry it on like that. So, you know, straight away, I've got a good head start then for a journal. I've got a head start, and I've got a bit of direction as to, you know, how to pull the journal together, because these are obviously a starting point for, you know, colour scheme and inspiration. So I just put those ones to one side. So again, pulling that pink pile back in that I sort of discarded. So we may find that we've got a couple more that will go together. So for example, these, I just take these 3, they work quite nicely together. So again, they would work quite well in the same journal. Let me check which side I did. So that one's punchable on this side. This one is punchable on, yeah, this side as well. So, I mean, straight away, that could be potentially a double page spread, which looks lovely, doesn't it? And works really well together. And then kind of folding that over, I've got this one, which is punchable on this side as well. So I could put with that again, maybe find a pinky one, pop on there. There we go. I mean, that would then be a great starting point for my next double page spread. So then I've got double page spread, another double page spread. I've got obviously these 2 sides to decorate, and again, just build up on the journal, you know, going from there. So I'm just going to put that to one side. So let's have a look at some of the other colours that we've done and see what we've got with them. So these ones here are the purpley shades. Now, I mean, I personally think they all go quite well together, and I would probably have all of those in a journal. In fact, probably all 4 of those. You know, they're quite complementary. They're really, you know, very pretty colours and things, and they've all got the same shades in them. So again, have a look and see. This one is punchable on this side. That one is, I think, punchable on that side, and this one, yeah, is punchable on that side. So you could put them like that, and straight away you've got a page here and a page here, and then you could find just another, you know, lilac-y themed or purpley themed piece, which again, just going through my little pile to the side. Oops, have I got some? Oh my goodness. This is so annoying. I'm rummaging through thinking, well, come on, because I did have lots of purple pieces. So, right, okay, I've got a few here. So, you know, could then mix them up. And again, what I would do to tie it in, I would maybe have some more of this sort of shade somewhere, either, you know, in terms of maybe I would have some sari silk in that colour somewhere on this page, or some paper in this colour, or print off another one of these sheets of paper and tear it and put it in the background or something. You know, all sorts of ways to tie in the colours. But straight away, that would be a double page spread. And then going over the page, maybe I would have these 2 put together. And then again, go back through my ready-made ephemera. If I didn't have ready-made ephemera, I could always, you know, just quickly make some ephemera. Again, maybe using these shades, maybe using these shades, you know, maybe that exact paper, something like that. You know, I mean, that also looks quite pretty. So again, giving me lots of options. Oh, not that one. Not that one. Lots of options as another starting point for that. And then going over here again, you know, if I had this way round, I could then, you know, tie it in sort of colour wise, having similar pieces on here, tying that in. Now this, I hadn't realised I'd actually put blue on the back, but that would be fine, because of course what I could do is take this colour blue and just, you know, for continuity, have something else blue randomly somewhere else in the journal. so that you didn't have just suddenly, oh, she's got a blue page, you know, I would perhaps put something purple on top of the blue. So as I'm still carrying the purple theme through, but I would then incorporate the blue, which, I mean, there is some blue on some of these pages, you know, there's odd blue pieces. But I would perhaps then, you know, like, for example, on here where we're going to add maybe some sari silk, maybe I would have some of this blue paper in the background or something like that. So that then is straight away 1, 2, 3, 4 pages already done for a journal. So, you know, a great head start there for that one. So we'll have a look at another couple now. So if I bring in, for example, the black ones, so again, lay them out, see, you know, do we have any that are going to go together? Okay, so straight away, I feel these would be perfect in the same journal. You know, they are absolutely perfect for using in the same journal. So again, this one's punchable on this side. This one is punchable on this side. So that could be a double page spread straight away. You know, right there, it's complete. And then turn it over and again, just find some more kind of brown and black themed ephemera. So just going through my quick pile there, you know, something like this maybe I could have on there. I've got a glassine bag, could maybe have that there, you know, and that would be my starting point then to build the journal on. Again, this one, you know, maybe something like that, and then just make a few more base pages in these sorts of shades. So, you know, again, a great starting point for a journal and a brilliant sort of inspiration focus for, you know, getting started with a journal. And then these ones, I mean, I don't personally think these go together or they're appropriate for the same journal. So, you know, from that perspective, I would maybe just think, well, I've just got one page now to get me started. So then I would start making some base pages in any of the shades that I've used on here. So it could be, you know, this kind of, I don't know what colour really you'd call that. It's like a creamy colour, but it's been coffee dyed. So it's a heavier, richer colour than cream. And, you know, I could do anything from that to this beigey brown in the black background. I could use any sort of blacks and things. I could use browns. This has got some navy. I could use the blue. You know, all sorts of shades are going on this page that I could just pick up any of those colours and make some other base pages to work into my journal. You know, and then obviously I just happen to have some pieces here from our Saturday Stash Buster episodes. You know, could just tie something like this in. So, you know, for example, if I had, now obviously this is now, you know, I'm not trying to confuse the issue, not using this page, so I'm not suggesting we're using this, but I'm just demonstrating if you were to pull in, say, for example, a brown page, obviously not this one because this has got different things on the back, but that goes nicely with this. And then instantly could just put something like this on, which is straight away tying in the blues. You've got the browns already, you know, so they're already tied in. And then let me see if I've got any more. Aha. So something like that. Now, obviously I'm not necessarily saying this, but can you see how that would then build up a journal? So, you know, any of the colours there, make some base pages and then either use some ready-made ephemera if you happen to have some in the right colours, or just make some, you know, to coordinate, again, using any of those colours. So that's another sort of, you know, idea there. Did I just pull that in from somewhere? Yeah, I think I pulled it in from there. So that's just kind of a, you know, base page on its own. Again, this one, maybe I would feel that this has to be, you know, a journal from scratch, or possibly I would put these two in the same journal because they are very similar colours. You know, they would complement each other well. Now, I'm not necessarily saying on, you know, a double page spread because for a start, they're both punchable on that side. But I could put that with that and then tie in. Oh, I've been wanting to use this all week, haven't I? That there. And again, maybe just tie in some of these colours by either tearing some of this background paper, you know, printing some more of this, putting it in the background. This is just my Valentine's collection. So I could easily print that off, tear some of that, put it in the background, or maybe I would have some sari silk or, you know, bows or I don't know, ribbon or a lace cluster or something with some of these shades. So for instance, this deep pink or the ivory or, you know, more black or something like that. That would then work as a double page spread. Or this way round, for example. You know, I'm just kind of trying to show you how these would work together to sort of pull a journal together using those pages. So definitely for me, they work as a set of, you know, the same journal pages straight away. So what I could do, and I've talked about this, you know, before, I will store all of my pages now. I store them upright like this in, like, say, a shoebox, and I can just flick through. Now, if I was wanting to obviously not forget what I've thought, you know, I mean, I will group them together anyway. So I will, you know, put them next to the ones that I've sorted them out. But just for in case, you know, I rummage through and then they end up sort of coming out of order, what I could do is just literally bulldog clip the sets that I think are working together, if you see what I mean, and keep them stored in the box like that. And then when I'm just feeling, you know, that I wouldn't mind tackling a bit more of a project, you know, forming a journal, or maybe I just fancy even just working on one more random page, I can just go to my box, pick these up, and just, for instance, work on this page, you know, and then I could put it back. Or I could obviously make some other pages and form the whole journal. But straight away, you've got a massive head start there for making a lot of different journals. So I put those to one side. So now we've got these ones, which again, absolutely gorgeous, aren't they? So, I mean, to be honest, I hadn't necessarily planned that these would go in the same journal, but you can see already where I'm coming from with this. This has got sort of, I mean, obviously this is red, but it's got pinks and things in it, and it's got the blues, and it's got the sort of creamy ivory, you know, like this. So again, they feel like they would work reasonably well in the same journal. I mean, straight away, if I were to turn this over, we could make a double page spread on here. Now, again, I'm not going to have any pieces that remotely go with this, but, oh, I mean, not really that, because obviously I feel I'm then pulling in different colour. Now, what happened to that pale blue one that I had just now? Ah, right, here we go. So could have something like that on there, then that makes a brilliant double page spread, doesn't it? And, you know, like we said, this one's very plain. I haven't really decorated it at all. Obviously, this one's completely plain. But, you know, could just tie in some more bits. I just happen to have this laying around by just doing something like that in the background, or, you know, on this one or something like that. So very easily can then bring the two pages together so that they will work together more harmoniously, if that's the word, harmoniously. And yeah, they're then forming the journal again, two pages ready to go, you know, into a journal and give me a sort of starting point and a place for some inspiration. So again, I'm just going to bulldog clip those together like that. I mean, like I say, I will just put them in the shoebox next to all the ones that I'm thinking anyway, but just in case, I'm just bulldog clipping them for, you know, extra you know, aid, I suppose, to my rubbish memory. So let's pull out another pile that we've, you know, put into similar colours. I mean, these ones, to be perfectly honest, I feel would all work together. They would all work in the same journal. You know, they're all very much of the same sort of pinks and blues and, you know, ivories, lots of the same colours. I mean, this has got the splash of black, obviously, with the lace. That's fine. I could always, you know, use some black on another page somewhere to tie that in. But straight away, you can see, I mean, there, I'm not necessarily saying that, but we could just find a couple of pieces. I mean, again, that one is quite good, to be honest, to bring this together. I might... yeah, I mean, something like that. That would be then a perfect double page spread, you know, would look gorgeous. Straight away, it's a massive sort of head start. Obviously, some of these might go together on their own as a double page spread. Now, obviously not these because they both are punchable here. But again, something like that, or, you know, oops, something like that. That one, you know, you can see where I'm coming from with this. Very easily, you can work this into a whole journal. And, you know, like I said, I mean, this is 5 pages, which is massive. You know, that's, I'm not saying halfway there, but certainly that's, you know, a good chunk of pages already done. And they were just super fun to do. We didn't kind of stress ourselves or anything by trying to match them with anything, but they would all work together. Now I'm just having a look to see whether this one maybe would work as well. Or maybe not. It could do, to be honest. What I could do is just tie in a bit more of the blue or something like that, you know. And then that one also could potentially work with this group as well. So then I would have actually 6 pages, you know, ready done. So straight away, again, very good sort of head start. Pull in the next ones. So we've got these 3. Personally, I'm not sure really. I mean, definitely I think these 2 would work together, or these 2. I'm not sure about all 3, although maybe, yeah, maybe they would. So, you know, turning them over, bringing them like that, could quite easily pop something else on here. I mean, I am just using the things that I've got here, so I'm not necessarily saying that these are, you know, the perfect things to use, but I'm just giving you sort of options with the stuff that I happen to have here. So let's just pull in that, for example. You know, quite easily could tie that in. To get it to further coordinate, I would maybe match in this colour, you know, pick up that colour and put it somewhere on this page. So using things like either some other paper or some ribbon, even just a bow, or if you've got a lace cluster but the gem in the middle of it or something happens to be this colour, something like that, you know, would just tie that in perfectly. Or could pick up this bright blue and have some blue on there or something. I mean, personally, I probably wouldn't do the blue. I would probably go for this colour, but that would then tie them in perfectly together. Or this one, now obviously I was kind of shying away from this because obviously it's plain coffee dyed, so I feel like it needs some more stuff on here. In fact, from that point of view, let's do this. Could put that together and then I'll just have a rummage through my selection that I've got here. Very annoying because I don't happen to have anything that seems like it's the natural choice or the obvious choice, but just sort of demonstrating quite easily how, or maybe not easily, but yeah, could sort of bring it together. I'm not saying that, but something would work quite well on there. And hey, I mean, I'm just using my ready-made ephemera. There's nothing to say that we couldn't just make things on the fly, you know, as we quite often do when you're making a journal. You don't have to use all your ready-made pieces. All I'm trying to demonstrate is that straight away, potentially, these could all work in the same journal, and then you've got a head start because you've got 3 pages ready-made. So put them over there, and then finally I've got this pile, or not really a pile, just 2 pages. To be honest, maybe they would work quite well in the same journal. They are very similar colours. We've got sort of this tealy colour. This is, you know, tealy sort of shades. We've got some of this dark colour, sari silk, not too dissimilar to these flowers and things. So already I'm feeling that this would work okay in the same journal. And then, do I have anything? Oh, I did just have this, didn't I? Oh, well. Not ideal because obviously they're the same sort of shape pockets, which I wouldn't generally try and have on the same, you know, facing pages. But something like that. Let me just see if I've got anything else as an alternative. I mean, yeah, probably not that, but I'm sure you can kind of see where I'm going with this. And yeah, I don't think I've got really anything that's quite right to be able to demonstrate, but quite easily we could form something that would tie in. Oh my goodness, I mean, I don't know why I thought that would go there, but I thought it was worth a try, but actually in hindsight, no, it looks terrible. Yeah, I haven't really got anything here, but you know, failing obviously having some ready-made pieces, like I say, I could easily make something to go with this page. But hopefully you can see exactly where I'm coming from with this. So actually just do this. Do you see that they then would make potentially quite a nice, you know, double page spread? And tying back in with the colours, maybe put something similar to this colour, or maybe have some of this colour somewhere on here. Maybe take a bit of this paper and just put it somewhere, or, you know, pick up some of the colours from there, maybe put a bow or something like that. So, you know, straight away we've got potentially 2 pages there for a journal working together. So I think we've done pretty well. I can't actually remember now how many pages I said I had done. Honestly, memory like a sieve. I mean, I only counted them like probably 10 minutes ago, but already I cannot remember how many pages we said. But all those pages have amounted to, you know, several different journals already being potentially started, and then put them into a shoebox, stored upright like that. And then when the mood takes me, or, you know, when I fancy doing it, if they're bulldog clipped together, for example, I could just grab them out like that. If they're not, they are now grouped together in colours like that, so I can kind of put them together and think, oh, they go together, and pull them out as and when I fancy doing them. So yeah, I hope that you really can see where we were going with that. I hope you had a lovely time in the series. Let me know below, have you got a ton of pages now? Hopefully this video's really clarified how you would then pull your pages into a journal. Obviously these are ring bound pages, just to kind of re-emphasize, ring bound pages. You would obviously need to do your covers, so an outside and an, you know, a front and a back cover. Again, doing the same method that we've just talked about, tying in the colours and the pieces from these pages as your inspiration for the inside of the front cover, the inside of the back cover, and then some extra pages, and then you would be well on your way to having formed a journal. So I really hope that this seemed you know, easy to you. I hope it seemed inspirational, and yeah, would love to hear your thoughts below. Would love to hear if you joined in, if you've now got some pages, how many pages have you got? Did you enjoy the process? And yeah, hope that you know, it proved helpful. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Oh, please, if you could give this video a thumbs up, that would be awesome. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, that would also be amazing. Thank you so much then, and see you guys in the next video. Thanks then. Bye.